Okay. Doing this proper English style.
Yes.
Just need the finger out as I do it.
Speaking of being a queen for Smithy.
Hello folks, my name is Ian Crew. I'm an instructor at the Joy of Dance Center in Toronto, Ontario, and the creator of SocialBallroom.Dance, where you can learn your dance at your place on your schedule. I'm joined here today by Ellen Smith. We've interviewed you once before.
Yes, you have.
Ellen Smith is a life coach. She works in, I'll let you say the other side of it.
I'm managing director of iMedia Matters, which
Right.
is part of Media Matters Inc., which is a publishing company.
Yes, right. So today we are talking about, well, sort of about New Year's resolutions, but you have an opinion about setting New Year's resolutions. Why don't we start with that?
I can start by saying I don't believe in them.
Okay.
I stopped asking people to set resolutions or goals, if you will, a long time ago. And I remember it was 2008. And I started something called Create Your 2008 or Your 2009, etc. Oh. And what it comes from is that I notice that people start the new year, they make all kinds of resolutions. I'm going to lose that 10 pounds, I'm going to quit smoking, and then 2 weeks later they're back at it.
Yeah.
And I started to look into that and realized that part of the reason for not following through is it's easier to fall back into old habits, to something familiar. It's comforting, even if it's not good for you.
Right. That's what you know.
The other is that it's too hard for them to try and establish a new habit, or
like you're stretching too far out of your comfort zone?
Exactly. Or deep down inside you're saying to yourself, you know what, I'm never going to do that. And then people do. So they self-sabotage in a way, and that goes to what your belief system is, which is, I don't really believe I can. What I really believe is this is what I'm going to be forever. What I ask people to do is think of themselves at the end of the year. So let's say this is December 31st, 2018, and I want you to look back and write down what you've accomplished as if it's happened. And if you start to look at the pattern of the things that you choose, it can be big things, little things, combination, you'll notice that there is a pattern. And from there is that I ask people to set a theme for this coming year. So it could be anything you want. So it could be find a new job. It could be cleaning up the mess. It could be achieving abundance. In creating that, you start to say, okay, what does that look like? So for me, my theme this year is success, abundance, and health. So those are my 3 buckets. And so in those 3 buckets, what does success look like professionally and personally? What does abundance look like? And what does health look like? So everything that I do, I believe, I start off by saying, I can do this. I know I can, right? And I tell myself outright, and this is not being a big ego thing, but I tell myself, I can do this because I am just so fantastic, right? So you start to make choices that fit what you've already told yourself you've accomplished. And you'll find that over time, it starts kicking in automatically.
This is not so much on specific goals. Right, so could you explain that first?
Sure, so it's about choices to make you the best and happiest person you can be. So a choice is different than a goal.
Okay.
A goal is, I got to run 100 yards and I've got to get the finish line before everybody else. A choice is, am I going to walk or am I going to run? Right? Now, if you are a person who is overweight, a smoker, and potentially have a heart problem, probably running full out is not a good idea.
Right.
Right? So you make a choice that you're going to do it, but you're going to pace it. And you're going to start taking steps so that sooner or later at the end of the year, you'll have run that 100 yards. There's an acronym that I have given you, and I've given all people, which is the word STOP, which is stop, think, organize, proceed. So it's not like I get up every morning and so absolutely deliberately conscious that every decision I make, every move that I make has to be weighed. But when I come to something that causes me to go, then I'll stop, I'll assess it. And in the assessing it, I'll also take a moment to listen to myself and find out what I'm feeling.
Right, right.
Right? And you know whether you're being stubborn, you know whether you're being angry, you know whether you're being scared, you know all of those things. When you hit that point, it's not, don't give up, don't turn back, is look at it. It's telling you something.
And that's something that I think is so important, is that you never stop that self-analysis, because I can speak from my own experience in the past when I used to do things that I would call escapes, and I mean them in more of a negative way. I know for you it's sort of, it can be used in either positive or negative, but for me it was specifically as a way of escaping myself or my situation, or just something that I didn't want to look at. And it sounds like what you're saying is the important thing is to never stop looking.
Never, and never stop listening. What I do, which may sound a little new agey, but it's when I wake up in the morning, I actually sit for a minute and I ask, what is to come through me today?
Right, right. Okay, so now we're getting into the how do we stay connected.
Yeah, the other thing I say is thank you. Because every experience you have is a gift, even if it's negative. You learn something for it. So you have a choice, do I learn or do I get grumpy?
Right.
Right. And we all get grumpy sometimes, and sometimes it's absolutely called for, but do I stay here or do I let it go?
And if you have the gratitude, then there's no room for the grumpiness. You can only have one or the other.
You can only have one or the other, and then sometimes when you get grumpy and you look at the gratitude of it, you realize how silly the grumpy looks.
And I do love this concept of a more general theme, because I think for a lot of people, and I know from personal experience, that sometimes it's very hard to define a very precise goal. It's like when I first started blogging, I didn't know that I was going to create a whole business, but I just gradually, it feels like it kind of found me. Like eventually I just ended up picking up all these different skills, and I was like, oh, well, this is how I can use them all. How great. And I think just having that idea of like, and now looking forward, how exactly do I want it to go? Well, I don't know exactly how I want it to go, but I know some general things, and I'll keep my eyes open.
Yes.
Why the aversion to using goal as a word?
Because
Speaking of somebody who loves goals,
yes, I know
as well,
you do.
you know.
Is that goals can become quite rigid, and life isn't rigid. Say if your goal is, I'm going to get a job with Bell Media, I don't know, just throw this out there, you know, and I must have that job, right? And I'm going to have it by April 30th of 2018, and that's it. And if I don't have it, I'm a failure. And that's what people say to themselves. And what happens if you ended up working you get a job that is better at a competitive company, and that has all the job satisfaction and the financial compensation that you're looking for? So how are you losing? So
to kind of recap over the different things that we've been talking about, it's often better for us to, instead of choosing a very specific goal for the year, to more follow not general, but a theme, a vision that is flexible. Because, well, one thing is that it allows us to be a little more forgiving with ourselves if we don't meet our exact specifications. And also because it's acknowledging that life is flexible itself, and there's going to be things that will throw wrenches into our plans and send us off on different trajectories. So it allows us to still travel in generally the right direction, without needing to be so precise about it.
And to understand that the choice of direction you take may just be what's required. So maybe if you take that straight path, it's not right for you. Maybe there's some things you got to learn along the way before you get there.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ellen. It's always a pleasure.
You too.
Listening in on getting nuggets of wisdom from you.
Thank you so much, Ian. It's been a pleasure.
It has, likewise. And thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this, if you have any questions or comments, you can always message me on my Facebook fan page, Ballroom Dancers Anonymous, or you can email me at ian@SocialBallroom.Dance. And if you like what you saw and you'd like to see more, you can either subscribe to my YouTube channel or you can go to my website. There's a ton of great material there, so you won't regret it. And if you like, you can also subscribe to the newsletter there. And if you do, you will get access to 4 free dance instructional videos to help you improve your own dancing skills. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, happy dancing.
And have a happy new year.